I was just hiking with my boys, beautiful little mountain, came back and see all these messages in my inbox of you guys pretty concerned with the minus 30% correction going on right now. So let me address your main concerns and also share with you what I did today. I will, as always, not give you financial advice, but I will share with you the thought process to understand what's going on, and I will share with you my own moves, how I protect my portfolio, what did I buy, what did I sell today. Okay, let's go into the markets. The markets today in my European 6:30 in the morning were at minus 30%. They corrected around 2 hours later to minus 20%, and it didn't surprise me. I made a video 3 days ago where I shared with you that I sold my S&P 500 positions, every single one, and all the Nasdaq, because the VIX was high, and I shared with you also the VIX at that time, that the VIX was 30, and it's still 30, so that's the volatility, and the dollar strength, the DXY, was at 95. It's now at 96. So we always look at the macro situation, and there is uncertainty in the general markets. There is Evergrande in China, which is now officially going bankrupt. They now stated officially that they don't have the money to pay back their credits, so there will be a big move there. And since China is not independent from any other markets, we are all dependent in our markets, with our supply chains, with our resources, and with single elements of our supply chains also. So we are interdependent, and these things create uncertainty in the market. The market doesn't like uncertainty. The market prefers to have a negative certainty than to have uncertainty, and so you don't know in which direction this will move. That was my video 3 days ago. So if you are following this, you are not surprised. And if you're new to crypto and to Bitcoin, let me share with you something that Plan B has tweeted today, because same thing, he got a ton of concerns and he wanted to address them. 2017, the Bitcoin wave, the cycle, was exactly the same, and the last correction was minus 29% before the big pump, the last pump. And if you've seen the video of 2 weeks ago, we have charted the path of Bitcoin right now using the Elliott waves theory, which I have learned from Robert Prechter. And if you use the Elliott waves theory, you see that we are in the last big push. So we are at around 20%, 25% of the last big bull run of Bitcoin. It is going flatter, so we will not see big pumps in this month. We might see them until February, March, so they are elongated because of macro events. But the correction was exactly minus 30%, very similar to the minus 29% we had back in 2017. So what do we do when we have this situation? We go to our checklists, what to do in weak markets. And I did a whole video on that. You can grab that video also. But let me summarize it here. What do we do in weak markets? We go shopping. We go to our top 10 list. This is my current list. So I have my top 10 stocks and I have my top 10 crypto assets. We go to our top 10 list and see what we need to rebalance and what is hit hardest, and we buy it. So what do we do today? I don't know your portfolio and your situation. and I don't know your revenue system, your saving system in relation to your investment system, so I will only tell you what I did. So I sold nothing this week. I did sell this week. 3 days ago I sold all my S&P 500s and all my Nasdaqs, and which is not a recommendation to do. I just did it because they are my weakest horses right now. And then I have also sold Tesla, but that's not a recommendation. I just sold Tesla at 1,200 2 weeks ago and sold it because first it doubled, and then second, I don't see Tesla going to 2,400 soon. So I think it will cool down to 950, and I would love to buy more at 850. Let's see how Tesla is doing today, because many of you were asking if it's time to buy Tesla. I wouldn't buy at 1,014. It's still overheated. I'm bullish on Tesla in general, but we do not recommend to buy at high prices. We buy at low prices. We have conviction, we have a list, and then we are patient and we wait until the asset comes to you. Don't chase assets. Wait until the asset comes to you. So let's see. According to our method, emotions out, systems in. What do we do in weak markets? We go shopping. So it's always a recommendation to have 20%, 30% of your allocation in dry powder. Dry powder, 10 years ago, we would say have that in cash. Now, with this inflation and depreciation that's going on, it's better to have it in stable coins. And stable coins, I have directly where I can use them. So I have always some stable coins on Coinbase, because that's where I go when I see minus 30%. And of course, today, when I saw minus 30%, I went directly there. And I personally, I bought some Bitcoin, I bought some Solana, and I bought some Ethereum. This is what I did today, and I can tell you the reason why. Bitcoin, to me, is on its way first to 100,000 and then to 200 and 250,000. The on-chain analysis is still bullish. The movement from big institutions and the flow of big sums of money is getting even stronger. So Bitcoin is absolutely validated still. What would be my line in the sand that invalidates this assumption? It would be first that I see institutional money going down. Second, I would see that the on-chain analysis says that a ton of people are withdrawing from their wallets. So they are moving from their wallets onto exchanges. That will be the second warning sign that invalidates the network effect and the health of Bitcoin. And the third one would be a price below 28,000. I think below 28,000, the network effect would break. And if you remember our video about network effects, the network effect is a two-sided marketplace, and you have two magnets. That's why it's so strong. For example, let's say a music platform, iTunes, is a two-sided platform. So you have the users and you have the musicians, right? And so the more users you have, the more musicians want to be there. The more musicians are there, the more users want to come, because it's more valuable for them. So that's two magnets. And it creates a positive loop. It's the Metcalfe law upwards. When you break that law, the same Metcalfe law goes also downwards. So as soon as I would see less on-chain data validating the network effect, and my line in the sand from the price side is 28,000, then the network effect would revert to the negative. So 28,000 and it is invalidated, and I'm out of Bitcoin. But 47,000, it's fully validated. We are in the expected 30% correction before the uptrend continues. We're still in the bull cycle. There is nothing showing a bear cycle. This is a 30% correction in a highly volatile, bullish trend. So much from this side. What would I buy today, and what did I buy, and what can you look at if you are looking to buy? If you want to buy stocks, my favorite stocks right now are Amazon, Google, Square, and I did buy also some Square. Let's look at Square. What is it doing right now? Square at 181 to me is a very good entry point. So let's look at the RSI. RSI 36 is good. Bollinger Band broken down, so we are below Bollinger Band on the week. Let's look at the 4-hour. We're touching the lower Bollinger Band in the 4-hour. RSI 23 is wonderful. So below 30 is a buying signal, because the relative strength index below 30 means it's oversold. Oversold means it will come back up. And so Square is definitely something that I have been considering, and I've also been buying much more Square into my positions today. Square is positioned to move forwards. It now calls itself Block, the group. And as you know, Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Square, he was also the CEO of Twitter. And for some time that troubled me, that he does two CEO roles at once. But now he stated publicly that the blockchain technology is the most relevant thing that he will experience in his life, and he is going to dedicate his career from now on to blockchain technology and to the advancement of this field. And that's what he did. He stopped working at Twitter, after leaving as a CEO, he now does 100% being the CEO of Square, moved over, changed the group's name to Block, and is moving forward the blockchain technology there. These are also proxies. Square is a Bitcoin proxy. If for some reason you prefer stocks but still want to have exposure to Bitcoin when it pumps, then there are some things that you can do. So Square is definitely one which is a proxy to Bitcoin. Then the next one is MicroStrategy. I also bought more MicroStrategy this week. I was a little bit too early. I didn't get minus 30% because I did buy a ton of it at minus 12 already. That's how bullish I am on MicroStrategy. I was a bit too early, but I never perfectly nail these points, and that's not needed in my system to nail perfectly the bottoms or the tops, because it's not realistic for somebody who does 1 hour per day like I do to nail every bottom and every top. So the system that we have with 1 hour per day, you just 10x 3 of your 10 assets, you do 3 rounds per year, you're fine, even without nailing the bottoms and nailing the tops. So MicroStrategy, very good. And also CleanSpark and Hut8. I have been buying CleanSpark last week and I think also this week. And CleanSpark is a Bitcoin miner like Hut8, and they are a Bitcoin proxy, 100%. Hut8 is doing incredibly well in terms of productivity, how many Bitcoins they mine right now. The number is amazing. Number of Bitcoin mined per day was something, maybe then. So in my head, the numbers are not usually the best, but it was something around 360 Bitcoins mined per day, and they are not selling them. So Google the number, check the number if it's right. This is just from memory, but it was a number that told me, wow, they're not selling any Bitcoin, they're holding that Bitcoin, and it goes directly onto their balance sheet. So it's quite a de-risked company. Even if they do a ton of mistakes, they're still a super valuable company right now at a discount. Coinbase, similar thing, but it's much more risky. I should do a whole video on Coinbase. Right now I wouldn't go in. I hold it, but I wouldn't go in. Same thing with Twilio. I hold it. It will not stay in my top 10. I will exit Twilio, and at some point I will exit Coinbase, and I will tell you why. PagerDuty, also not going to be in my top 10 2022 anymore, and I will also tell you about that. And also UiPath has not qualified for the 2022 top 10 anymore. I hold it, but I plan to sell it. Same with CRISPR, will not be in my top 10 next year. So what can you have a look at? NVIDIA is definitely something, but it's still overheated. Even in a correction, NVIDIA is still overheated. I wouldn't go there. That was the stock side. Now let's look at the crypto assets. Definitely interesting. Bitcoin, Solana, and Ethereum right now, as long as they are down. Same thing with Engine. Engine has been hit hard, was at minus 32%, and I believe in Engine. It's my main metaverse play. What are my metaverse plays? I hold Decentraland, Mana, I hold Gala, and I hold Engine. And of these three things, and also Solana and Ethereum are metaverse plays, if you ask me. But of these three things, I have most conviction in Engine, which is against the grain and against what everybody will say publicly right now. But yeah, I wouldn't go into Avalanche or Mana or Gala right now, and I can do a whole video about that. Why? I like Phantom at 1.6. I have been buying a ton of Phantom over the last weeks when it was at 2.0. So imagine how bullish I am about 1.6 Phantom. Yes, that's a plain yes. And I have so much, that's why I didn't buy Phantom this week, but it looks really good. And then there are some riskier things that we could talk about, but I will not tell you about them today. I have been buying Loopring. I have not been continued to buying Chiliz. It's on my watch list. I don't know if Chiliz will make it into the top 10 of next year. Let's see. Same thing with Compound. Let's see. They need to show me more strength right now. Chainlink is not strong, but I like it because it is unrelated. So Chainlink is the one thing that has interoperability to every single layer 1. That means whatever happens, Chainlink is in the game. And I like to have this kind of thing because, as you can see, these things are so related. It's so hard to find something that is not related. Let me know your questions. Happy to do a video. This was just a quick Saturday update on this Bitcoin crash, and I hope this helps. Keep rolling, everybody.